The number one Stormgate player at the moment, Parting. Is it possible to beat him in a series in a best of 5? That is what I set out to achieve in a Showmatch last week, and I thought it'd be really cool if I recorded my first person view of the games. So in this video, I have a treat for you. A complete best of 5 versus Parting from my perspective. Let's just jump on in. So this is game number 1 of a best of 5 versus Parting. The map is Broken Crown. We didn't have to do any bans or vetoes to select this. It was just picked as the ladder map, as the first map. And actually the way this series works is it's going to be loser's pick, but you can't repeat a map immediately after you've picked it. So if I was to win this game, Parting would pick, and then let's say I lose to the next game for game number 3, I wouldn't be able to pick the map that Parting picked in the second game. I hope that makes sense. But there's also 3 maps in the map pool: Jagged Moor, Broken Crown, and Secluded Grove. They're the 3 options that we were playing with. Maybe Titans, I can't remember, but I will say now, Titans does not come up in this series. Broken Crown overall though is pretty decent, I think, for both players, both matchups. People are pretty happy to be playing this map. The only thing to really look out for is that the Doombringer drop gets into your natural really quickly. I mean, the map is a bit like King Sejong Station in a way, with your naturals, you know, airspace being towards the center of the map, so drops can be quite effective. Now, Parting in this game has opened with a Conclave first. Parting loves this, and for that reason, I'm going to be doing 2-Rax Lancer. But I'm not going to be doing any sort of 2-Rax Lancer. I'm going to be opening Command Post first, which, if you've seen right now, I'm floating 400 minerals. Surely I should be in the natural, right? Already building. I'm going to wait until there are 12 workers on my main Luminite. And then I'm going to take 4 workers from the center, meaning that I leave 3 workers on the outside tracks, which are the most efficient worker setup that you can have possibly. I'm then going to continue to rally workers up to 10, and they will fill out the center slots, getting the most ideal main base saturation you can possibly have. But by delaying when I build the command post first, it also means I have a surplus of money, meaning that I can build, without cutting workers most importantly, 2 racks on my very first overcharge. I compare this, for example, to Top or Kiwian's build that he showed against Parting in EGC. His grand revelation was that 2-Rax Lancer was very strong. You go command post first, and then on the second overcharge, you can build double racks, right? If you compare the timings between these 2 games, my version comes out about 30 seconds quicker. It's a bit weaker economically, only slightly, because I'm cutting workers as well, because I really think Lancer production is the most important thing to get down. But the idea here is, get down 2 racks on the first overcharge. We can then use the second overcharge to get the biolab and a habitat, and then we can use the third charge to deal with a drop. So that was a big weakness in Top's play, I think. But he obviously started revolutionizing the idea of going for 2-Rax Lancer. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm now rallying to the main base, just 1 worker, because all I want to do is mine 25 Therium, because we're going to be taking the health camp. Now, killing this deer at the health camp gives us 75 Therium. So the way this is going to work out, it times out really quite well. At around 3 minutes 30, I think if you can be a bit quicker, it's even more effective. You will have 100 Therium, your biokinetic slap will finish, you'll get the upgrade, and you can hit a really scary timing. If we're thinking about Doombringer drop timing attacks in this matchup, on this map in particular, it can hit at 3 minutes 50. 4 minutes is probably the more standard timing you might be seeing. So we need to be on the other side of the map, getting aggressive around that time. So I have 6 Lancers. The Lancer upgrade has just started, so it'll be finishing around 4 minutes 25 seconds. And we can get really aggressive. So my idea is to send 6 Lancers across the map, try to bully the Fiend Gaunts, totally makes sense, and then rally Lancers defensively. And this gives the Infernal player a really hard choice to make. Either that they have to become very defensive. If they go across the map with the Doombringer, they're not going to have very much at home. So they might need to leave the Doombringer at home, which is what Parting actually does in this game. He brings the Doombringer back so that he can micro very effectively against the Lancers. So that makes sense. So I'm pushing forward, pushing in. This is when the Doombringer drop's supposed to be hitting, but I've kept him on my side of the map. He's also not taking a third base. If he was taking a third base, he'd probably just be dead, you know? So this is a really effective build order that I think you guys should all try out. Now, Lancers are able to kite Brutes because they have higher range and they move faster. So I'm trying to take as few Brute hits as possible. And at any moment, I try and jump on top of all the Gaunts as well. Now, I haven't taken the health camp, of course, on his side of the map, so I have to run all the way back to mine. But this is what I'm trying to do. As soon as my lances get low, just try and send them all the way back home to heal up. And throughout all of this, keep building lances. So because there was no drop on my side of the map, I can effectively use, you know, the F2 keys, the spacebar, select all army, to bring reinforcements forward. Now I'm attacking. I lose the dog, which is unfortunate. Those lancers get injured, but it doesn't really matter. I dealt a lot of damage to my opponent. They don't have a health camp to heal from. I do. So that's my entire game plan. Sit in the health camp, play with 2-Rax Lancer while I'm expanding. And we actually have a third base with a lot of workers. So I think our main base is fully saturated, our natural is fully saturated. We don't have much therium mining, of course. But Parting, for example, doesn't have any workers on his third base right now. So I think we're definitely very far ahead. And so what I'm doing here is I'm leaving 2 Lancers at home just to defend this gaunt drop. I have sentry posts in each base if I need to get in them, just to deal more effectively with the drops. And then I'm sending the rest of my Lancers across because I want to be in Parting's face as much as possible this game. This drop does catch me a little bit out of position. I'm trying to repair my bobs. I do lose one and I'm forced to cancel the sentry post. Not ideal, but now we're getting inside his face and he actually recalls. So this is the pressure of just attacking and having Lancers. Now I think I could probably micro in this game a little bit better. I do jump in on top of all the gaunts and get a few of them. Killed a lot of the fiends and all the brutes. I should just keep on fighting at this point. I'm in such a good spot in this game, I think. Now, there's actually a bug here, and the Shroudstone manifestation is shooting me, but I can't see it. So that actually forces me to pull back, try and find another angle, and I need to just wait for it to go off cooldown. Luckily, it's not invisible for the entire game. It does become visible after time. So I'm forced to take this health camp. But yeah, just an unfortunate bug there that really cost me my momentum, I think. So now I can push in. Realistically, I should be pushing as hard as I can right now. Because the scariest thing is when Flaming Imps finish. And I'm really worried about that. That's why I'm only sending in a few Lancers at a time. Because I'm really worried that I'm just about to lose all my Lancers to Flaming Imps. But realistically, I probably could have been, you know, dealing a bit more damage. Now, I think in the cast, obviously this was casted by, you know, the Aftermath stream. I think they said that, you know, my Lancers were misrallied there attacking the Shroudstone. No, it was completely intentional. That's totally fine. By the way, here come the Flaming Imps, so I'm trying to split as much as possible. There are bugs with hold position though, so it's not really the best idea to use. He launches 2, kills a couple of Lancers, definitely not the best. These final Flaming Imps get a lot of damage done though, so I'm not entirely sure what the best choice here was. Should I have given up the health camp? Should I have run away? Yeah, maybe that would have been the best idea, because now I've lost a lot of my momentum. He can go out on the map and be as aggressive as he wants now. Like, not super aggressive, but we'll see that he does decide to hit a timing attack. And he can start doing Doombringer drops again, so maybe not the best idea to lose all of that. But it's not the end of the world, right? I have 3 bases saturated. I think I'm oversaturated on my 3rd base as well. Taking a 4th base. Got a really good economy. Got 4 barracks. There's actually a drop that just went past my 4th base. I missed it on the minimap, but I now do see it, which is really decent reactions, actually. I'm worried that it's Flaming Imps, so I start splitting my main base Therium workers. And then I'm sending Exos into various bases to set up for turrets. No, yeah, I actually had 22 workers on this 3rd base, which is not ideal. I think he only gets a few workers, though. Maybe 3 or 4, so it's not the end of the world. Could have been better. But it could have been a lot worse. Now I'm sort of getting pulled across the map. I'm trying to, you know, go for this drop a lord that's killing me. And I get pulled out of position. And at this point, yeah, I'm pretty concerned. Because I don't have medtechs. Medtechs with system shock is one way to deal with this, you know, Flaming Imp timing attack. I don't even have tier 2. So I can't use the shield upgrade. I can't use the rampart on any habitat, you know, to provide me some more defensive abilities. I'm going to lose my 4th base. I should really not be attacking into this spot, because I just start feeding him fiends, start losing him lancers. I was probably dead anyway. But yeah. I'm definitely dead now, aren't I? I am really interested though. Parting is one of the only Infernal players who actually gets the Gaunt speed upgrade. Obviously, it's a bit like Stim, it costs them HP, but they get a speed boost. And I think it actually makes a lot of sense to go for the Gaunt speed upgrade. If you take a really, really strong fight against your opponent, you can then chase them down and do quite well. And it's also really effective for just getting out of the way with all your Gaunts. So I think we'll see Infernal players research it a lot more because it's quite strong. So map number 2, this was my map choice. I get Secluded Grove, and I find both resources straight away, which is really, really valuable. If you didn't know, there are Therium and Luminite out on the map, and what this allows me to do now that I've found the first 2 of them, they come in pairs, so they're mirrored. So I know that they're spawning on the exact same spots on the other side of the map. So I'm going to go just for a scout, see what's up. I'm looking to see, is parting opening with a single building, double building, and what type of building. So what we see is a conclave, very standard. I pretty much know how parting is going to play this game then. If it was for a vault, which is something he occasionally does as well, then I think that makes a lot of sense as well. Now, the nice thing about the Therium on this map is that you get 20 by finding all the flowers. So I only need to mine 1 Therium trip with 1 worker to get 25, and then the deer will give me the rest of it. So that's what I do right now. Just nice and simple, nice and early. And then once again, we're waiting to get up to 12 workers before I build the natural command post. Hot King, the ones in the middle, makes the most sense, I think. So you have the optimal saturation. Overcharging as well. Now, there is actually a bug, and I try my best not to abuse it, but technically you could. The way it works is, if you build your buildings within the last 2 seconds-ish of overcharge, they build extremely fast. Like, it's a very funny bug. So I try not to abuse it, but technically you could. And you could get these barracks down, you know, really, really fast if you wanted to. But that also comes with a risk, because if you were to not get your, you know, building down in time before the overcharge, you might just completely forget about it and lose the bonus. So we're going to start off building lances, and one thing that I have to think about in this matchup is, do I run straight for the deers, or do I kill my own natural Therium? Because the way this map works for your natural Therium is it actually doesn't spawn. You have to, like, destroy the cap on top of it so that it starts spawning. But I'm going to be playing Bio anyway. I'm going to be playing Heavy Lancer. With Bio, traditionally, you don't need to be more than 1 Therium field anyway, so it's definitely not the most impactful. Now, what I'm going for a scout here was seeing if he was going for his speed camp. You know, you can start it with just 1 Gaunt, right? Just start kiting as best as you can. I'm actually cutting workers right now because I'm on 28 out of 30. And I don't want to get supply blocked when I build my next Lancer. But I think this might have been maybe a small mistake. See, this is what I mean by I was learning the build order. I just definitely do not want to be delaying my own Lancer production. That's all I will say. So I've power built my biokinetics lab. The deer is going to go down. And let's see how quickly I can get the Lancer upgrade in this matchup. At what time do I start it? By the way, this Lancer gets so low. It's so scary. Okay, I started at 3 minutes and 24 seconds. It takes 60 seconds to research. Meaning that I can be in his base really, really early on. And I actually see him. So he took his vision camp. And he's going to start doing, I think, a counter attack. He goes to my vision camp instead. And my choice is, do I run? Try and kill this army out on the map? Or do I just run to his base? And I decide it is more effective in this game if I just run to his base. Because I might catch him off guard. He might not have very much. I see him. He takes the mineral camp. I see all his units are here. I'm happy to defend this with, you know, just 2 Lancers. So that's totally fine. Remember, it's about 20 seconds until my upgrade finishes. So I'm already in his base with 6 Lancers. He only has 4 workers here. I'm fully saturated on my natural base, right? So we are really far ahead. Now, what we need to remember, of course, is that there are roughly 8 workers on Parting's Therium base in his main base, right? So we have equal worker count. I'm just mining more Luminite. Now I'm getting very, very aggressive here. And this was what I promised myself in this game. That I'm just going to push, push, push with almost no regard for myself. And as I say that, I immediately fall back. Which is maybe going against what I just said. But the reason I fell back in this game was I wanted to kill the health camp so that I could start doing some very, very, hopefully insane micro. where I am just pulling back units constantly and never losing anything. So I'm going to unselect the the lancers that are low HP, and then I'm going to attack with the rest of them. This is the plan. I'm rallying my lancers to my third base in case a counterattack comes there. But the Doombringer's at home, so we know that we don't have to defend against that. As you can see, the health camp is so overpowered. I had, a 1 HP Lancer that is now fully back to full HP. Now, some cool micro you can do here, apart from just kiting, is I'm going to kite into the forest. And because Lancers have multiple range, 2 range, sometimes you can hit the the brutes, without the brutes hitting you back. So we kill all the brutes, and then suddenly he has nothing. So I'm just going straight in. Kill the Shroudstone. I've lost 1 Lancer here, which is not ideal, but it's not the worst. I feel like I'm doing so much damage. Now I can run out. I think 7 or 8 of my Lancers are extremely weak at this point. So we can just go and start healing back up. Now, I don't think he had a third base. I'm now scouting, the lower third, because this is away from the health camp. This is something that a lot of Infernal players have said might be pretty good, Because a big issue, let's compare this to Broken Crown, right? On Broken Crown, the third base that Parting took is right at the health camp, so I can just sit there and push in. But this one, it's sort of out of the way, it's down a ramp, you can't really go out and defend it. So I go in, does he have a third base? He's only just now started his third base. I have 3 bases, finished. I'm starting building Exos of 4 racks. I am in such a commanding position in this game. I'm now going to jump forward on top of all these brutes and gaunts. He's bringing some flaming imps forward. I'm worried that maybe I need to start dodging. So that's something. Now he is in the main base. I have Bob Overcharge. Flaming imps seem to be on the cards. So now we just have to be very, very careful. We want to be fighting as much as we can, but without clumping up. Because obviously we saw what happened the last time we played against flaming imps. So, yeah, we have Exo turrets now around the place to help us a bit against the Doombringer drops. And I'm just going to start clearing out vision on this map. I think I probably could have been more effective in this game. Maybe I'm too much of a coward. It's definitely possible. So what I've decided to do at this point then is to split up into 2 main armies. He only lets go of 2 Flaming Imps, which kills 1 Lancer and damages a whole bunch. Definitely not the most ideal thing. Parting actually does a really cool micro trick here, where he uses Hellspawn Resurgence, which is essentially the inject spell. Oh, drop into our third base. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We don't really care too much about that, because we're building workers 3 at a time. And every time he does that drop, it costs him 4 workers, I think. It's the general thing that he's doing. So I had tier 2, by the way, here. I'm now, building a scrapyard to mine Ethereum quicker. And we're just going to keep pushing, trying our best. One thing that I've always said against Parting is that if you survive, and you can survive in a lot of ways. Actually, let's talk about this micro. Whenever any of my units get low, I'm just going to be selecting them and sending them back to the HP camp. Trying to split as best as I can. I lose 3 Lancers there for free, and I am panicking actually at the moment. I'm like, oh god, I'm throwing the game again. This is not good. But it actually turns out really well. All of my Lancers survive. He gets the Gaunt speed upgrade, and this is what I was talking about with him being able to escape. Oh my god, my Lancers do so much damage. And Parting taps out. GG! Parting has been defeated. It's been a while since I've beaten him, so this was a really good feeling for me. But so the next map is Jagged Moor, everybody's favorite map. And unfortunately, this means that it's going to be very, very tough for me. Now, I have some ideas how to beat Infernal in this map. And I think if I know exactly what the Infernal player is doing, I would be able to beat them. It's not guaranteed, but I would have a good shot at doing it. The issue that I find, and I really run into this problem in this game, I think it's a perfect example of it, is that the Infernal players can do so many different things, and if you don't react to each thing differently, you just die. So Parting is just doing his exact same normal build initially, opens up with 1 Conclave, he still expands in this game, we will see. What I don't put together is, because I've lost to, you know, double catapult rushes so many times and one base infernal place so many times, my issue here is that I just am overreacting to any tiny little thing I see. So that's a real big issue. Now I'm delaying the best I can, but there's also no HP flowers on this map. So what does that mean? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to send this dog all the way back home to get it repaired. But I'm just trying to confirm. We see the shrine goes down. Awesome. This should mean that I can be pretty happy about what's happening in this game, right? Like, the shrine is down. It's not some big crazy one base all in. He doesn't have an iron vault. He doesn't have 2 conclaves. Parting will still be taking the catapult in this game. He builds a shroud stone on the high ground near the camping area. And then just starts taking it with a couple of gaunts. But regardless, my game plan for dealing with the catapults used to, I would build 2 turrets. And I'd build it with my second overcharge. The one in the front would be a Lancer turret, and the one behind it would be a Bob repair turret. The Bob repair turret would essentially keep the Lancer turret at full HP, meaning that you could sort of indefinitely stall out the catapult. But then I started losing to double catapult pushes. And I was convinced in this game Parting was going to do this, right? I was just so worried. Parting doesn't do it in this game. So my new response to a double catapult push actually backfires. And so we'll see that really soon. Apart from that, I just do want to be getting up the 2-Rax Lancer, get the Lancer upgrade. I think it makes a lot of sense. Probably other ways you could approach this map are to play a lot of Hornets. I think that makes a decent amount of sense as well. So I'm going to overcharge. And instead of building a second barracks, I'm going to be building 3 turrets instead. I can't believe I lost my dog. Tragic. But yeah, I'm going to be building 3 turrets instead at the very top of the ramp. So I think this does really well against the people who cut down the middle of the map and take down both catapult camps, because you can abuse the high ground. But in this case, he hasn't cut down the middle of the map at all. In fact, the catapult right now is running around the long way, meaning that most of these turrets do not achieve their purpose. It's complete overkill, and I've just, you know, done a huge reaction to nothing. Like, there's nothing on the map that's happening. You know, it can't really kill me. He only has built gaunts. He's going for a really quick Doombringer as well. I've just completely overreacted to this, and it's going to cost us quite dearly, I think, in this game. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world. These turrets are still somewhat useful, and I could always salvage them later, if need be. But I've delayed. You know, I've lost 3 workers worth of mining time. Look, I'm so ready for this catapult. And it is never coming. Like, what am I thinking in this game? Oh, that's where the catapult is. Oh my. Anyway, we'll see the Bob overcharge. Sorry, the Repair-O-Matic turret being quite effective in this game. It essentially, like, the catapult over time does deal a little bit of damage to the turret, but for the most part, it buys you enough time. Like, I'm focusing firing down the catapult right now, which is pretty smart. And if you ever bait units, if you ever bait units into your Lancer turret, the bouncing does so much, so. This is the general game plan. I do just give the Lancer turret just a tiny bit of a top up, and I'm going to be going for 3 racks right now. Maybe I should go for 4 racks. If you go for 4 racks, it's pretty difficult, though, to get up a 3rd base if you're constantly producing exos. But maybe I should just be all-inning, trying to be really aggressive, because it is very, very tough to do. So my Lancers do finally shut down this push, this catapult. But unfortunately for me, the Doombringer is still alive, and the Doombringer means I'm going to be stuck at home. If we compare this to the last game, I don't have a HP camp that I can go to, because the health camp is all the way in the, you know, top corners, very far away from any bases. I also don't have that many Lancers, right? I'm already starting building Exos, which are good. Exos are good, for sure. But, you know, it makes me end up in a much more defensive position than I would have liked and what I wanted to do as a game plan in this series. So Parting is definitely in the driver's seat at the moment. And this is what is so difficult about Jagged Maw. You can just sort of do whatever you like. As soon as I leave my main base, of course he drops. How convenient. That's very frustrating. Yeah. And just between these two bases, it's really quite annoying, isn't it? I'm not microing this very well. It can just be so abusive. At least we do have... Oh my god, this is terrible micro for me. I'm forced to cancel. Remember, you can use repair though. Repair is a really nice mechanic to use against gaunts because they don't deal a lot of damage. It's mostly just the bounce and infest, and repair deals with that just fine, especially if they're overcharged. But I am forced to just, you know, run as best as I can around my own base. Manages to get one bob there. I have a bunch of AFK bobs in my natural. So at this point, I'm falling a bit apart. It's so tragic for me to watch this back. But we're on 3 bases. If I was to look at this replay, I think we'll find that he's already on 3 bases, quite well saturated. And he might even be taking a 4th base, I'm not too sure. But I am just stuck, right? I'm just stuck over on my side of the map. And he can just keep on dropping and being really, really just frustrating overall. One probably underrated thing that people really focus on the catapults on this map. But even without the catapults, I think it would be very tough for Vanguard to win. If you want to shut down drops completely, you need to play Hornets. But you just have such, like, wide access into your bases that, you know, you can't really cover all angles without spending a lot of resources on sentry posts and or Hornets. But I mean, we've got there. We've got into a macro game, so should I be complaining that much? Maybe not. We do see a double Doombringer drop coming to our 3rd base. But I'm not too worried about this, right? With Bob Overcharge, your Bobs are so tanky that they can just pretty much heal all of this. And I just realized my bottom Lancers were actually able to be healed on the ramp there. The HP camp has a decent range, doesn't it? Nothing to scoff at. So what is my game plan, though, past this? And so going into this game, I knew that Parting really loves to play low tech. Lots of brutes, lots of gaunts, and then flaming imp drops. So bio is good, and I then wanted to turtle. I wanted to turtle and get up to Atlas to ideally get up to a really powerful composition. So I'm adding a factory, a mech bay at the moment, and then a hangar and a machine lab. Maybe I haven't added the hangar yet, but I definitely have something. Do my exo turret in the main base. I'm pretty slow to repair that, which is pretty sloppy. We're going to lose a couple of bobs as well.
Our forces are under attack.
And I use spacebar to bring back everything. So this drop has been very effective for him. He's probably killed, you know, 6 workers in my main base. It wasn't free. He lost, you know, things for it. So it's not the end of the world. But my Lancers go across the map, and what do we see? I think we see something that makes us very, very sad. Yeah, already a 4th base. Already fully saturated. He has flaming imps. He kills a bunch. I'm pretty worried in this game. I'm like, well, is this game just over? It might be. But I push forward. I've started building exos more continuously. I was just about to try build an Atlas, but I'm a little bit poor. See a lot of brutes and I see some Hellborn, so I'm very worried at this point. Now, we keep on going, of course. Never fear. Never worry too much. Probably what I need to be doing, as I see that we're supply blocked, is getting medtechs now. Medtechs are going to round out our army and provide a lot of sustain and just tankiness to it. Because obviously, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the medtech heal provides 25 armor. So it's a very big buff. Just to your front lines, or even to your exos. They make them so much more tanky. I find taking a 4th base on this map a little bit difficult. If I was to take the double Luminite base, you can do it when you're ahead economically. And, you know, ahead in tempo in the game. But when you're behind, taking the double Luminite base becomes very difficult. Because pushes through the middle of the map are just so powerful. And they hit you so quickly. They can do a small run by on the left side, and then push straight down the middle, and there's not much you can do against, you know, Magmadon Hellborn. It's very, very tough. And so anybody who says that the only reason why Jagged Maw is Infernal favored are the catapult camps, they're just wrong. The real issue with this map is everything is Infernal favored. The Dropper Lords, sorry, the Doombringers, I need to stop calling them that. The Doombringers are stronger than ever on this map.
Our base
It's
is
really
under
hard to
attack.
take a 4th base. Pushing through the middle of the map is really close and really strong for the Infernal player. So everything just sort of tends to go their way.
Not enough luminite.
So, like I said though, the nice thing about playing against Parting is that he is always very low on tech. He has only Gaunts and Brutes at this point, right? And 1 Hellborn. So if you do survive, you're in a great spot. And you don't have to worry too much about it. I have no idea what that turret was still attacking. I'm going to try and chase down some of this though. I have an Atlas, so I can be nice and aggressive. See if I can get some big shots. That one sort of whiffs. Doesn't really achieve too much. One other thing that I've been thinking about is, like, if I'm going to be 3-base all-inning, I keep on building workers throughout all of this.
Under attack.
That means I end up with, like, a lot of Therium. Now, there's some benefits to this. So in this game, I just took all my workers off, you know, this Therium base. And that works out, because then you have a fully saturated 4th base. So it's not the end of the world. But maybe if you want to be really aggressive, it's better
Our forces
to, you know, get the
under
upgrade
attack.
first. Now, this was a bit unfortunate. Yeah, he used Shroudstone Manifestation just as I looked away, so I took a lot of damage on the evac. I'm forced to use my top bar shield ability to heal that up.
Luminite.
And I'm on just on 4 bases now. Parting is on 6 bases, including the double Luminite base. Yeah, I mean, this game is just over, right? Like, Parting can do whatever he wants. And it's going to be tragic. Somehow I have 13 workers in my main base, so I'm going to send that to my 5th base and trying to get this. But if you look at my army, as we get a little bit of lag here, it is so small. And these workers are about to be running into the slaughter. Surprisingly enough, they all survive. And finally, the turrets that I built 4 minutes into this game are worthwhile. And they push back the army. So it doesn't look too bad, right? Like, I'm just so far behind economically that I'm not going to be able to do much in this game. But army-wise, once I get to the Atlas, I don't have enough medtechs, that's for sure. I have to keep my army, you know, very, very healthy, but... And also to use Nano Swarm, that's actually the other big thing with medtechs. Oh my god, Shadow Flyers!
Under attack.
I lose both evacs. My front line is all gone. The Atlas gets some really nice shots. But then I just walk into the meat grinder, eh? Dude, Hellborns are such good units. Really, really powerful units. And if they get a really nice arc on you, there's not very much you can do. So that's probably going to be the end of this game. I'm trying to hold on. He's pushing on the left side, pushing on up the middle, attacking my right side. It's very tough. So this is game number 4 and is once again my map pick. The other important thing to note is the server choices. I mean, it's not too important because we're both from Asia. So against Parting, I was playing on the Tokyo server, which is sometimes, you know, 140 ms, but sometimes it pops up to like 180. My dog actually does see the Luminite node over the wall there, but I'm not going to go for it because I want to scout this side of the map first. And now we found that. So I don't need to backtrack at all. I've mined my 1 Therium as well. Very efficient in this game. So we're ready to do the build again, the 2-Rax build. And yeah, if he's playing on any map that I host, which was games 2 and 4, he hosted games 1, 3, and 5. Then he had the ping advantage, and then I had it in games 2 and 4. So once again, we're going to be doing the command post first build, where we go up to 12 workers on the main Luminite, and going into the 2-Rax Lancer before our first overcharge expires. I think this just makes so much sense. Because one issue that we do run into with a really fast command post first is that your worker saturation isn't ideal. And because of that, I think you might actually lose out on the money that you might gain by getting down the faster command post, compared to this version that gets the ideal 10 out of 10 with the perfect saturation. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm not entirely sure. Things are changing all the time, and we'll learn as we go. Probably one issue with doing, you know, this sort of style though, is it might be a bit weaker to like a brute first build where they instantly split their fiends, just because your, you know, command post in your first Rax is so late. But I'm not sure. I think you'd still be able to deal with it. Once again, I'm trying to not abuse the bug too much, and I get both barracks down on time. Let's see what he's building.
Enough luminite.
Double Conclave and Gaunts. Well, Parting is doing the exact same thing. One thing that I didn't talk about is some other times when I play partying, I open up with one racks, one barracks on one base, and I don't go command post first. This is, like, this build order that I'm talking about doing is really strong about what he's doing right now, where he sends the gaunts immediately out on the map. If you build units early, your lances are faster than gaunts, so you're able to shut this down straight away. Instead, I'm going for a very economic build order, very different, so I can't shut it down. But the Infernal player has no vision out on the map, do they? They have no scouting if they open with gaunts. So it can be very scary for them to go out into the map. Parting is, I guess you could say he's metagaming me here. He knows sort of how I want to play. So what is he choosing to do? Well, he's choosing to do the speed camp with his first 2 gaunts. It makes a lot of sense against what he has seen in this series. So my build order execution gets better and better each time I do this build order. Let's see at what time I'm able to get down the Lancer upgrade this game. Because possibly, I think this is probably the fastest that you can get the Lancer upgrade. But one thing that I've heard people say is that you can actually get a third base with this build order at 4 minutes as well. Now to do that, I think you have to cut workers. Okay, 3 minutes and 22 seconds, so it's about 2 or 3 seconds faster than our previous implementation. But yeah, people have also said to me, I can have, at 4 minutes 30, I can have 8 Lancers, the Lancer upgrade, and a third base. I don't know if I believe them when they say this. It seems quite nuts to me. I think what you would have to do is cut workers to do it, which is probably not ideal in this situation. I think it makes sense just to, you know, keep building sentry posts throughout all of this so you can eventually shut down any Doombringer. And I'm getting so frustrated by this worker. There was always something blocking it. Look at it. It's so annoying. Oh my lord. I don't think it's even built again. Has it? Come on. No. Oh my. It's so stupid. It's actually so dumb. The workers never move. So maybe I should create a bug report. That was really, really frustrating. So the Lancer upgrade is about to finish in 1 second. We're continuing to build Lancers. He's going to go and try and drop on me. But you know what this means? Every single time the Gaunt attack bounces, all of my Lancers get the proc. So in this case, we jump forward, we deal a bunch of damage, we end up killing, I think, both Brutes in this instance. Obviously, killing the Brutes just forces them to split. But now, he has nothing. He's adding another Iron Vault. He doesn't have any Brutes. Brutes are pretty much the only frontline that you have. And if there's no Brutes, you can keep pushing forever. We lose a dog there. That's all good. Now I'm going to jump in. He's moved away from his Doombringer. So we can get some huge attacks off onto these Gaunts. And we're killing them, slicing and dicing. At this point, maybe I could keep attacking. I think maybe you could keep attacking with the yellow Lancers there. Like maybe if Maru was playing this game, if I was better, if I played like an actual good player, you could be really abusive with this style, I think. Like literally, you only fight with your Lancers until they get into the red and then you run away. And if your Lancers are taking damage and if they're in the red, they're going to be fully stacked. Which essentially means they're going to get out because Lancers are super slippery. The upgrade makes them super fast. So we've taken the third base. All my Lancers are healed once again. It's time to go. The great thing about this build is that it's put so much pressure on that he actually can't really fight anything. I do lose one Lancer there, so that's a bit of a mistake. I'm trying to fight for as long as possible, just to get as much damage done, and trade it out. Now, this game so far is looking pretty good. Gonna start adding more barracks as well. I didn't do it with an overcharge in this game. Sometimes I wait until an overcharge is up to get these barracks down as quickly as possible. But there's no point really like delaying your push. So now I'm actually really proud of my micro in this situation. I don't know how many Lancers we lose. Let's have a look. I push all the way in. The one that's taken all the shots I just run out with. I'm going to lose one Lancer there maybe. No. Good micro. Oh, look at the micro. Look at the micro. Oh my god. I'm playing like Maru. This is so abusive. So I haven't lost any Lancers. That was amazing. 0 Lancers lost with that. And they just go heal at the health camp. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, the skill cap on this build is so high. You can really abuse the HP camp. And now, I don't really want to, you know, look away. I'm microing really hard. Send these guys out, get away. The rest of my Lancers, I've just, used the select all army hotkey. They all come in, full HP. And we're pushing hard. And I micro that one back. I'm very, very proud of my micro in this game. Like, I'm not a good micro player. Mostly because I play from Australia on really high ping. So I've never developed that part of my game. But we've really pushed him back. Now, I do see that the ritual chamber is completed. So am I worried a little bit? Yes, definitely. But we do some cool micro there where we, select all our units, send them to the health camp, and then, unselect them if they have less HP. Now, that's really nice. Obviously, you need 3 flaming imps. This is the game where he does Hellspawn Resurgence, and he starts building imps directly in my face. I do not hold position properly. He gets some huge shots off. In that case, though, I do finally use my tier 2 upgrade that I was able to afford. But the imps were really, really nicely done by him. But does he have any more units? He's definitely building some more imps. We run away from them. Oh my god, some huge shots. That's really sad. So at this point, I'm actually so sad with my play, I guess, because I was going so well. And then the flaming imps just shut me down. This is where I need to play like Maru. But he doesn't have any workers on his 3rd base. He hasn't got on my side of the map. I'm taking a 4th base. I have Exos. I'm being aggressive. This is exactly how I want the game to go. So we'll see some funny mechanics here, by the way, where the flaming imp corpses on the ground actually block movement. So you can see my Exos just sort of running on the spot. And yeah, right here, right? Completely blocked. Really, really frustrating. But we just keep going and we keep trading really effectively. Now, I'm trying to just push with just a couple of Lancers. So, Flaming Imps are, lessened. And then Exos obviously outrange Gaunts. So you can just focus fire them down and kite them. So this is my game plan in this spot. Come forward. I do see a flank. Try and split as best as I can. He only gets 1 Exo for his troubles there. And with that, parting calls GG. The series is tied 2-2. So this is game number 5. The last ace match. And again, it is on Jagged Moor. Parting, you are a coward. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, we were playing for money in this game, so it makes a lot of sense. Now, what I'm going to do in this game is different. So I'm trying to not overreact, and I'm actually going to be playing Hornets in this game. I think one of the strongest styles that you can actually do is to play 1 base Hornet, but I haven't practiced this. And from my StarCraft days, what I've learned is that I should not be doing styles that I haven't practiced on the ladder. Obviously, the 2-Rax Lancer was more like very technical early build, but then it played pretty much the same as how I'd been playing. Whereas 1 base Lancer, the transitions are very different. So I think 1 base Lancer would have been a really, really smart idea to do in this game. Would have probably shut down a single Conclave version of this really early. So I think that would have made a lot of sense. Instead, I'm going to be playing 2 base Hornet. And I know that this can hold the push. I'm going to go back to doing the 2 turret version. 1 Lancer turret in the front with a Repair-O-Matic Bob turret in the back. Because I'm not going to overreact to what Parting is doing in this game. That's literally what I'm telling myself right now. Like, don't overthink this. You're going to be fine, right? So we still go command post first. Completely natural. Try to be a bit more annoying. I haven't taken a lot of damage on my dog. The early game micro was a bit better this game. So we're able to just annoy. Annoy as best as we can. We still need to repair this dog at home, but then we can be a bit smarter. What I do that we just maybe saw in the main base was I selected all the workers on the outside of the Luminite mine, and I sent all 4 of them to mine from the Therium. And this is a really nice timing when your command post first finishes up, you just send 4 workers from your main base. And the 4 outside ones are the most inefficient ones, right? So you want to send those. You send them nice and early, so like if you really wanted to go for Hornets, you really want to go up to like 6 workers. But if you send 4 early, it makes up for the difference.
Not enough Luminite. Ready to work.
So we keep on building workers. We're going to be getting a Lancer out as well. And then 2 turrets, a hangar, and also a habitat once we get to our tier 2 upgrade. So that's our next milestone in this game. Try to be as annoying as possible. Deal a bit of damage to these gaunts. You never know when it's going to be handy. But what I haven't seen the double catapult play coming out in this game, right? He's taking the catapult, the siege camp without breaking the rocks. So I know that probably not too worried about very much. We do see the Fiend Scout coming across the map, and I unfortunately did not shut this down. I wish I dealt with this way better, but he manages to just slip in, which is really unfortunate because I would have loved to have stopped him from scouting this. Ah, the dog, it betrayed me. Seriously, the dog didn't attack there. So I get 1 turret, 2 turret, and then I'll be building a hangar bay as well. I think I make a mistake. My hangar bay is supposed to be right near my Repair-O-Matic Bob turret, so that when I, use Return to Hangar on the Hornets in the later part of the game, they heal up nice and quickly. It's not completely wrong, but from some angles, my Hornets will not get healed. So I know the push is coming. Parting's actually going to do it slightly differently this game, and I don't handle it very well. This is what I'm talking about, though. There's so many different options that an Infernal player can do. You need to not psych yourself out. Unfortunately, that is what I do a lot in this game. Now, I try to use my dog to scout for the Doombringer.
Our base is under attack.
And I guess I did actually just see it on the minimap, but it wasn't going to the main base anyway, so it wouldn't have helped me at all. I don't really know why I send these workers forward. I try and dodge some shots with them, but it's probably not that important. Hornet comes out, and there's no Gaunts. Where are the Gaunts? The Gaunts are in my main base. Very, very tragic. It's only a 4 Gaunt drop. I'm A moving everywhere as well, so my Hornets actually do not deal and come back to the main base. Yeah, I'm just falling apart at this point, aren't I? One issue that I am having in this game, though, is I actually don't have enough energy to use the Hornet Shield, which is interesting, because I don't know why I don't have enough energy. Oh, that's right, because I just used it in the main base as my third overcharge. Anyway, regardless, what is the plan, as the Hornet just said? Well, the plan is to go for double Hangar Bay Hornet production, Mass Hornet, and then go into Vulcans. And when I say this is the plan, it's actually not the plan. I actually wanted to go 1 Hangar Bay into a quick Mech Bay into quick Vulcan. Instead, I go double Hangar Bay, which I think is a bit of a mistake. I sort of got too excited. Things happen in stressful games. Best of 5, last ace match. But we actually start doing really good damage with these Hornets. He has good micro that saves some of them. Losing this Lance is a bit unfortunate, for sure. Not ideal. But yeah, so second Hangar Bay goes down. I think it would have been better if I went for really fast Vulcan. Because with Vulcans, what happens is that you can pretty much defend against anything. Which obviously is really nice, right? Defending against anything. Especially a Flaming Imp timing attack, which Parting loves to do. So, double Hangar Bay Hornet, really, really good. But it can fall apart really quickly. So we're going to kill the Vision Camp and see what we can do. I'm going to decide... Oh yeah, I'm thinking maybe a drop is coming. So I want to, come back home, defend against the possibility of that. And then if there's no drop, then we'll just head to the main base. So that sort of movement. Now, I'm building a Mech Bay now, but it's quite late. So I think this could have been down way, way earlier, and I could have had Vulcans already. We go into the main base, and I start getting so much damage done. I am so happy with this. I'm like, oh, sick. Where's his army? What's he doing? Why is he not defending? Am I winning this game? Man, I'm just destroying him. Parting, what a noob. He's building 1 Gaunt at a time. Nah, this is just GG. And then oh god. I just saw Fiends on my side of the map. Even still, I don't put 2 and 2 together. Because I still see Gaunts at home. When you see Gaunts at home, I'm like, oh, okay. That's all fine. But what's actually happening is I'm getting pushed straight down the middle right now. I try as quickly as I can to pull workers. But the Flaming Imps deal just enough damage to kill it all. The Lancer takes a lot of damage and is unable to get into the Bob turret. So I lose both of my turrets. If these somehow survive, let's say I had a Habitat there that could have used the armor upgrade, I probably would have been in a good position. But now all my Hornets are AFK as well, because they've all returned to Hangar, but there's no Repair-O-Matic turret to, quickly speed heal them. So I just die. This is very unfortunate. And a big weakness from the Gaunts. So this is what I was talking about where I think I probably should have been going for Vulcans. Much, much quicker. And then I would have been able to deal with it. Because I think this was quite all in from parting. And I'm very, very happy. Like, I've mined more resources in this game. And he sacrifices a lot of Flame Imps. So I think in that sense, going for the quick Vulcan just to survive probably would have kept me alive. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you like this sort of content and you want more first-person VODs, just let me know and I'll be happy to do some more, especially from high-level tournaments. I'm always happy to record my gameplay. But if you want to learn more about Stormgate, then make sure you watch this video right here.